WJBW is made possible by sausage. Stick one in your mouth.
I hear a little bit of feedback in the mic.
These charges are not mine.
Hey, welcome to the JBW Web DBWDD.com or RevShow.com. Oh, yes! Fucking asinine.
Can you give me a massage? I love you.
Holla at you.
Ow!
Ooh, girl.
Seriously.
Hello, Papa.
Some shit like that. You gotta do the Rocky Mountain Ride.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck with. Boy. Ain't everybody getting the Rocky Mountain Ride?
WJBW.
You don't want to.
Today, it's election day. If you haven't voted, you know what? Listen to something else because you're a piece of shit, and we don't want you hearing. Okay?
Yeah.
So hey, it's the JB Rev Show.
Welcome to it, the JB Rev Show.
I'm the Reverend.
That is the Reverend.
There's JB over there,
Across the way. What is up?
kicking it.
Doing it. You got your royal blood shirt on.
Goddamn right,
There you
man.
go.
That's right. Hey, our guests that we're going to introduce here in a minute. Would
carte
you-
blanche
Yeah,
edition, kind
yeah.
of open a blank check for mayhem, as it were.
Yeah, man. And
but you set everything up on this edition, so I
Yeah.
kind of want to give you the reins, and so give us a little intro here. Tell us what's happening on this episode.
First of all, I did like how your little normally you blog about the show, which you didn't this week, except
Yeah.
you put this one, I'm leaving this one in the Reverend's hand. So I would like to thank you for showing up because he was expecting nothing.
I didn't know
So
that was going to happen.
he was.
He told me that he's like,
you're like,
this cool guy's
when I
coming
show
over.
even tonight, you're like, so he's not coming, right? And I was like,
I was like, normally I'm real anal about this show, so I try to be laid back every once in a while and not take it so seriously, because what we do here is just purely out of the love, man. We love to learn about people. We talk with our fellow man or woman each and every week. They're always talented people, and they're always doing awesome stuff that maybe they're not getting all the recognition in the world for. So a little bit of an overview of who we are, what we do, the JB Rev Show. But on this edition, the Reverend has lined up a great in-studio session, and why don't you go ahead and peel us into who we're having here, and what else do you have planned for this episode? This is where we set the table.
Right. Well, I'm actually going to be, both of us, we're going to have to leave about, no later than 8:15, because I'm actually going to see Billy Gibbons tonight, and another in-studio guest will be arriving here shortly. Mike Rizzo is going to show up, but but before we get to the special guest, because I kind of want to lead into that, and I got to say, this is something about the guest I got to really respect and admire, because when I met him, I kind of gravitated towards him because he was just cool, and I was like, I didn't even know what the hell he did, and I didn't really care. It was just we were bantering back and forth so well that I was just like, hey, I do this podcast. And I was like, yeah, I do podcasts all the time. And then so I found out what he did. I'm like, oh. But what's kind of cool about this is I was actually, this is something I won't forget, because afterwards I just felt like, who the fuck am I? Because I was like, kind of offering you advice. And then, afterwards, like, you don't need any of my advice. And I'm like, no, I always take advice. But, you've already whatever. I'm glad you're here, but it was just, I just felt...
Who is the mystery guest? You still have not introduced him. You're just flailing around.
So, and honestly, I know I can't pronounce his last name.
Stamper.
Okay.
Obama.
So, yeah.
Obama.
That's me, Barack Obama.
Hey, Barack Obama, welcome to our show. It's Justin Stamper from Zombie House Flipping.
Yes.
Show on A&E.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So pretty dope ass shit. We're honored to have you here in studio and eager to learn a little bit about what you do.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
And
If
actually,
people don't know.
and to find out like how he got into it, because when I asked him, I kind of did this like, is what I did, but I mean, it's I've actually have done a little bit of research since then, and damn, your shit, And, yeah, and it's like, obviously enough to like have a show about it, and it's quite impressive. And so we've got him in studio. We've got Mike Rizzo coming up a little later. So we're going to get into that.
No, that's great.
But,
original music filling in as our commercials all along the way.
Yeah.
And, of course, we'll keep an open phone line. I guess I'll open it up here. 407-906-9328. That's our local text or telephone line. You can call us or communicate with us there. Chat live on Spreaker. Do all that business. Share the upload. Thanks to a few of you there joining us as we open up the live stream on Spreaker.
Yes. So we got to talk about why we didn't do our podcast last week. Because we took the week off.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
So last week, I went with Mike Rizzo because I had an extra ticket, and we went to see. I was looking forward to seeing Tricky, who opened up for A Perfect Circle at UCF Arena.
Wow.
And I was really excited about seeing Tricky, but the lighting, it was like completely dark, and it just had like these low red like spots, these par cans, and that's all it was all night. Like where we were sitting, I could not even see Tricky or who.
This Perfect Circle?
No, it was Perfect Circle, but it was Tricky that opened up, right? So that was very disappointing. But I didn't know much about Perfect Circle, and they were awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, they were really, really good. I was actually very impressed. I actually ended up
You
buying
didn't know
a record.
about them?
I knew about them, but I didn't really pay that much attention
I got
to them.
You weren't like totally following them
Right.
to a degree. Yeah.
He just heard that they were a bunch of tools.
Yeah. There you go.
It was two tools in particular, and a Smashing Pumpkin. So what I wanted to tell you too, JB, if that's your name.
Nope.
So the next day, I went and saw at Hard Rock Live Horror, and they opened up for Marilyn Manson.
Yeah,
dude, and that was an amazing show. That
must have been crazy. Was it crazy? They're mosh pitting.
Yeah,
and
it was Halloween night.
Halloween night,
and it was Orlando didn't know how to take horror too much. And by the way, they're in the UK tonight, and they're going to open up for the Prodigy and do an arena tour with Prodigy the next 4 or 5 days. And the next day, Thursday, I actually had extra tickets, and I took horror. And Mike Feinberg, who we've had on the show, and we've had horror.
You went to Universal.
Yeah, I went to Universal Studios.
That's awesome.
And really, like that was. I mean,
so
dude,
you've been
this
having
past
a
week,
rock star.
Totally, dude. That's what.
A couple of weeks here.
And I met this guy the week before,
and he was out
and it was like he was dressed up as 69, the rapper, and it was it was pretty cool, man.
Okay, so you met him out on Halloween. Apparently.
Well, it was a Halloween party, which was the Saturday before the Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah, so
Chatty Cathy.
Well,
social agenda.
That's what we talk about.
I hope
the
you
cool
got me
shit that's going
mug.
on.
Hope you got me a mug
in Orlando, and that's why we're doing this, right?
Well, hell yeah.
Talk about all the cool shit that happens here.
Hey,
right.
I'm gonna shine a light on you.
So no, I don't care about me. I'm
gonna
shining
shine a
light
light on you.
All right then.
There you go.
You got a song lined up because you kind of pissing me off.
Oh, I'm making you mad. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's what the show's about.
Oh.
Is how cool the people here in Orlando are, and the shit that goes down.
I'm down with what you're spewing.
And that kind of why you had me on. Like,
what? Yes.
All right. So,
what were you going to?
So then, when I do what you want me to do, you're gonna give me shit.
That's right.
Okay.
Welcome to the relationship.
All right.
We're best friends.
All right.
Anyway, the JB Rev Show.
You've been to my house twice.
Okay.
And never again.
Is that what a best friend is? Well, here's the uncomfortable part of the show.
When he's called best friend. We're not best friends.
All right. We're not
barely.
We're not best friends. Remember that. #carte blanche edition.
Just kidding.
I'm giving you a blank check. Do you have a best friend?
Yeah, and I've never been to his house.
What?
I'm serious, yeah.
Yeah.
He lives in Georgia. I'm not
Case
going
in
to
point.
Georgia.
But how are you best friends with
Yeah.
him? Was his pen pal?
Oh, no.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
We met in jail.
Yeah, we were serving time.
So technically,
one step over the line for each of us. Sorry.
So why
that's
is
not
he your
the
best
answer.
friend?
Justin Stamper in
Oh,
the studio.
well, we
sharing a story.
We grew up together, and then now he's a drill sergeant in the Army.
Oh, damn.
So like we were best friends, and then
Yeah.
he deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan.
And you've just been separated a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now he's been in Georgia for like 10 years, and
But you've been to his house when you were growing up.
yeah, but that was like his parents' house.
Yeah, well,
you know?
still.
I'm just saying, you can be best friends and not go to their
Hey,
house.
don't be debunking my best friend shit. You know, right? Because
I'm
just trying to say.
enforce it.
I'm trying to give a
I'm
reason
trying to
why.
support it.
Best friends visit each other frequently.
You're my
So,
worst.
do you have a room for rent in your house?
Me?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It was,
Why would I?
Her daughter is coming back to live with us for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why?
Anyway, I'm kind of a recluse, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not necessarily antisocial, but just a lot of what I do, I like to make sure it's not infiltrated too much with all this other stuff out there. But I think that's why, to your point, is why I do this show, is so that we can talk with each other and learn about people and kind of not be so much of a recluse. Plus, it's court ordered for me.
That's right.
Yeah. So
community service.
Yeah. So there's that. But no, other than that, it is a sincere effort every single week to learn about people. I got to vote today. I went through the voting thing. I stood in the line. I went, and I was so apprehensive about it
because
because
such an American.
I saved it till the end of the day, though. That's
was this your first time?
It's the
voting?
build-up.
I mean,
no. Well, remember,
okay.
I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, so all that voting stuff was like you were not even allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but. Point of all that is, I've been voting frequently here the past, couple of decades. Now I've been more of an adult, and so.
Hey, Jehovah's can't even vote for Christmas, so he's come a long way.
There you go. Yeah, so they
true.
Yeah, so they so I kind of got shunned from that whole religion, and then moved on with my life. But anyway, it's all for the better. Like things work out the certain way that they do, and it's foolish to think you control it all. You can only kind of mildly let it happen.
He didn't even get to have his first birthday until he was 21, which is why he's only 12.
Yeah. That's right. So I'm really only 17.
But secretly,
that's right.
This guy was, he was doing crazy shit in secret. I can't
Who,
even
me?
go there.
Me?
Yeah, you, of course you.
Oh, well, yeah.
You're the biggest weirdo I know.
Go check my zombie
sure.
house.
Yeah, but
out.
only Jehovah witnessed it, so it's fine. He's in the clear.
There you go. That might be true.
I like that.
Well, you do weird stuff. # carte blanche edition.
Yeah.
For the Reverend.
Carte
We're just
blanche.
coming in here and being wacky. I was almost going to be antagonistic.
Honestly,
Are you
I don't even
picking up
understand what carte blanche means.
I don't know how to spell it.
It's a blank check. I think it's French for blank check.
Okay.
Like free reign. Like blank check.
I don't speak French, but, I have heard the term, but I never, really.
Well, now you know.
Anybody that was saying it normally pisses me off anyway, so using shit like carte blanche.
This guy thinks he has carte blanche over me. What is he doing?
Yeah.
Oh, the Reverend.
So what do you got lined up here?
This is MKG, little disco happy, laid back, yacht rocky feel. It's the JB Rev Show. We'll be right back with an in-depth conversation. Justin Stamper.
Yes.
I would drive up and down the 405 just to hold your hand at night. I feel your heart right in mine. Mine might be in yours in time. I know how you get sometimes, getting caught up in the wrong way. I think you know that I'm feeling strong, 'cause I'm talking about you all fucking day long. And it's you I want to hold. All I can do. Wish you didn't play my mind. I know how you get sometimes, getting caught up in the wrong and right. But it's you. I could give up all of my precious time if maybe you could give me a try. I know you sent me 20 signals to go, but you could have left many hours ago. Get crazy when you're walking by, but you never look or turn your eyes. And I hear what your funny friends say, shouldn't be giving me the light of day.
WJBW.
The electronics is so predominant that people would really prefer that.
Oh, yes. So we're back with the JB Rev Show. Here, the Reverend. Got JB over there doing his thing. So we got a special guest in here tonight. And I'm really glad he's here because JB's... we're having a... losing the feed. We're just having a little technical difficulties.
I think
here
you're all right. Let's see if you're still coming through. Are you coming through?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you. All right, good. Oh, but you lost the audio.
It's all good. I can just drop the phones.
That's why we do this live. That's why. Yeah. So yes, you can definitely jibber jabber in the background. It's just nobody can hear you.
Hold on.
You know, because it's all but what this
All right,
is.
so
We got Mike
Rizzo in
yeah,
studio.
and
All
he's
right,
over there.
Reverend
Just,
is butchering this. Hold on, let
Well,
me
hey,
try to
man.
help you. We'll make a nice little tri-tip roast out of this intro.
there we go.
Hashtag carte blanche edition in studio. We
Blank check.
Going live.
Mr. Stamper, it's a great honor to have you in here. Now, learning about you, we found out you're born and raised in Orlando.
Yep,
So
born and
that's
raised.
going to be awesome. So we're going to give you our humble little title here. Hold on. It's a local legend, 20-plus years, pushing something great into a scene, community area. And I think based on your success with the show, what is it? Zombie
House flipping.
Zombie house flipping, which
on
we'll
A&E.
learn about on A&E and much more. So I'm eager to learn. We always like to hear people's roots, learn about people's roots a little bit. But if we can kind of do that, are you still now on the? Oh, okay, all right. So just take them off. Yeah, there you go. All right, there you go. All right, so we can just talk with you then. What we like to do is learn about people, kind of go back to origins, understand how you got into doing what you're doing. So thanks so much, number one, for being here, man. And,
Yeah, dude.
Number two. So let's get into that. What would you think to learn a little bit about the zombie house flipping?
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, I just happened to meet him at a Halloween party, and we just hit it off. And before I think we even had exchanged numbers before I even knew what he did. So just the banter back and forth. He's very, very quick witted, and he's very intelligent as well, and skilled, which is what I was learning, and what I want to share with the rest of the community. So yeah, my mic. Okay, there's my mic. All right. So yeah, we're just having a little technical difficulties over there. All right.
It's all right. We're keeping it live.
So you were born here, which, like I said, you might have told me that night. And you've been here your entire life. So you went to high school. What high school did you go to?
Yeah, man. I went to West Orange High School out in Winter Garden.
Nice. All right. I think
man.
Mike, you were born here as well, right? Yeah. Okay. So and I was born here as well. So we got three legit Central Floridians here.
Yeah,
and
the locals.
Yeah, you don't get that very often. So, I know a question that I asked you, and you'll kind of like this too, because this is another thing the three of us have in common is you don't have any tattoos, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so neither does Mike, and neither do I. And you would think, we're definitely in the minority with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not gonna lie though, one of my favorite artists that I follow on the internet just opened his books this week, and I applied to get my entire back done.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
figure I'm just gonna go big from the rip.
All right, right on. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so going back, okay, so that's cool. Well, right now we have something in common.
Yeah, right now we got virgin skin, so we're good.
Yeah, all good. So let's start with let's talk about what you were doing even before you got involved with the show. I mean, how are you kicking it here?
Honestly, dude, I was line cook at Disney, and I valeted cars at night.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. Life just kind of took like a weird direction, I guess.
All right.
You don't necessarily get to pick the direction your life goes. Life just happens.
Right.
So yeah, man. I grew up in Orlando.
Okay.
I graduated high school, and I was hell bent on trying to be the next Anthony Bourdain. I was
Wow.
dude, I just want to be a punk rock chef.
Okay.
I want to go open my own spot. I'm going to go to CIA up in Hyde Park, New York.
All right.
And just kill the culinary scene.
Right.
Because I figure what else do punk rock kids do?
They're normally turn into chefs, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a musician,
Yeah.
or Yeah.
Yeah.
So I totally feel that. So,
So that was the game plan, man. And I actually moved away for a little bit. I moved to London for like just under a year.
Wow.
Because I wanted to go work for this record label that was giving me an internship.
wow.
And, like while I was there,
what record label?
it's called Hepcat.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so Hepcat hooked me up with this like hip hop record label
Okay.
that no longer exists.
All right.
But it was just like a branch off of that based out of London. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna work
Wow.
with like London hip hop.
Hell yeah, dude.
And it was like through a friend, and I got there, got to London, got settled in. And like the world economy crashed.
Okay.
I graduated high school at the worst time ever. I graduated
Right.
in 2007.
Okay.
And the very next year, the
Yeah,
world
yeah.
was just like
Yeah.
collapsed.
Yeah, that's
wow.
great.
Okay.
Yeah. So my family, dude, my family lost everything. My parents owned like a small like furniture company here in Orlando.
Okay.
And I came back to help with that, you know, got a job valeting cars, got a job as a line cook at the steakhouses at Disney.
Okay.
I was just like doing my thing, and I was like, all right, well, if I'm not going to work in music anymore, I'm going to just like go be a chef.
Right. Right.
And dude, then my like childhood home got sold at the county
man.
foreclosure auction.
Whoa. Wow.
Like later that year, and like my parents, bro, they just like stopped opening the mail. You know, because
Right,
all the
yeah.
mail was just like bad news.
Right,
So
right.
they didn't even know that our house was like up for auction. And these dudes came and like banged on the door, and they're like, hey, is your father home? I answered the door. It was like out of the
I like how
Godfather,
they,
dude.
yeah, I like how
No,
they
it
got
was like-
that voice. Did they really kind of?
Dude, well, here's the thing.
You were
It was like
imitating?
it was pouring down rain.
Okay.
And like
Wow.
these dudes pulled up in a BMW, and like three of them stayed at the car, and then the one like giant dude came to the door, and he was like, he has like a real raspy. He's actually like a friend of mine now. Because we all work in the same industry, you know.
Okay, all right.
But back then, dude, I was just like a 19-year-old kid, and this is like some dude. And
Right,
he
right.
like comes to the door. He has like a real raspy voice, and he's like, "Is your father home?" And I was like, "Nah, bro, he's not. What's up?" He's like, "I need to talk to him about your house." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "We just bought your house at the foreclosure auction today." I was like, "What
I
do you
just
mean?"
bought your house. You need to get the fuck
Finish
out.
it in character, please.
Yeah, you were just like, we
I
just
just
bought
bought your house.
Yeah, thank you. That's better.
you need to get the fuck out.
Yeah, but these dudes are actually cool. Hang on, I'll do it more in character. He's like, we don't want to make anybody homeless, so if you get us cash by the end of the week, you can still stay.
And by the end of the week, I mean tomorrow's Friday.
And like honestly, man, we were lucky enough to a couple great friends were able to like actually buy our house back from this dude. And
Wow.
dude, me and my pops renovated our house. We sold it, and like 2 months later, man, I started buying like little traps at the same foreclosure auction they bought my own house at.
Okay.
And like that's how I got into real estate,
That's
bro.
dope.
Like,
Oh, man.
so, like that's how I got into real estate, and like shit just kept rolling.
So, you know, I've seen, like I said, since I've met you, like last week, you know, I've watched a couple of the shows, and, you know, so if you've never seen it, you're the host of the show.
Yeah.
And you're the one that, you know, I mean, you've got this charismatic, you know, this charisma about you, and that's why I think we even first met. But what I've seen in the shows is you do a lot of this work, this handyman work too. I mean, are you doing that? How do you orchestrate that? And were you doing that with these houses that you first got when you first started this with your dad?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, like I come from a long line of my family was actually like all painters back in the day,
All right.
and like if you paint, you also like know how to do drywall.
Right.
You also like know how to do a lot of other finishing work because a lot of times they go hand in hand.
Okay.
So like I come from a family of like Americans from Detroit
Wow,
that
okay.
are tradesmen, and my pops is like super handy. My pops like understands like basic plumbing, basic electrical, basic like pretty
right,
much.
yeah.
He's a jack of all trades.
Okay.
And
A handyman.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, that wasn't his like trade for the last. I mean, like that's what he did up until he was like 30. But yeah, man. So like that and YouTube, honestly, have taught
that's
so much,
right.
man. You like if you can. if you
I
go
remember
on
you
YouTube-
saying
That's a
that.
great
'Cause how did
point.
you know that? And you're like,
Just YouTube, dude. Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
But real talk, man, the dudes like Keith and Duke on the show with me, those dudes like are legit pros. Like Duke could build this house from the floor up.
Okay.
Like with one other person. Like,
Right.
So I've learned so much
So
from
they're
just
real
like
master craftsmen.
Yeah, so like
type
I've
of-
learned so much from by like just being around them.
Okay.
And like it's fun to do stuff on the show, and like I live in a fixer upper that I've done pretty much all of it myself. So like I can do most things.
Right.
Like I'm a pretty basic knowledge. Like if your sink or your toilet, if like something basic in your house broke right now, like I could fix it for you.
Okay.
But as far
good
as
to
like
know.
rewiring a house, man, like you know, I
right.
leave the major stuff to the pros.
Right.
But it is fun though to like get in and do shit because we can do it, and
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Well, you know, and this is something that I really can relate with you because my dad was a master electrician, and so I brought some of my first jobs besides working with you at a daycare center was working with my dad as an electrician's helper.
Okay.
So, and that's why I was asking you because you really, you know, you said YouTube, but I mean, you really have to, and you really have to know, you know, what you're doing when it comes to like electrician and plumber stuff, the hardcore stuff, like you said, like rewiring a house. You know, that's
sure.
Yeah. So
Or even just installing a light, man. I mean, you don't put that ground wire in and you
Oh,
start
yeah.
touching that hot wire. I mean, you're gonna shock yourself. You
oh,
know?
absolutely. So
But YouTube will teach you not to.
yeah, no doubt.
I
So
saw one YouTube, just a quick aside, where the guy was like banding together multiple wires and was like, "This is how you create a stronger internet cable." Like those kind of prank ones where people are
Yeah.
like actually would believe that. I
Oh
guess
my
so.
God, that's
a
terrible.
good starting point. Yeah.
This is how you charge your iPhone in the
Yeah,
microwave.
Yeah. Just ridiculous videos. So there's some good ones out there. There's some bad ones. Not everything you learn how to do it.
Read the
on YouTube.
comments before you try it.
Yeah. That's a
that's a good tip
That's a
right there.
good
Read
tip.
the comments.
Justin Stamper in studio, zombie house flipping.
Yeah. So what I want to go into next is, you know, so you started flipping these houses. I want to get back into what you were saying, just lead up into like, you know, how these opportunities opened up for you.
No doubt. So we started buying traps, you know, just working our way up. We didn't have like a ton of cash when we started. You know, so we were just buying little things like in Pine Hills, Carver Shores, Metro West, things
Right.
that we could afford, you know, because back in the day you could buy that stuff for, you know, 20 grand, 30 grand,
Right.
40 grand.
And you didn't even you didn't even need all the money to buy it up front, right? Like
No,
you-
at the auction you do.
Oh, you do?
You pay for it that day.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so it's a little bit of a
Yeah. How did you when you
flipping, but
first? I
it's
mean,
like
you were just
you're
went from
buying it
line
at
cook to
cash outright.
Oh
Yeah.
well, because we renovated the house that we bought. Or not that we
Yeah.
bought that.
Well, originally.
We renovated my house originally.
When his family was in peril, remember?
Right, yeah.
So
yeah.
we sold it, and we were able to make a little bit of money off of that.
Ah,
so we
okay.
took that little bit of cash and just started buying little traps with it. Like we
Right.
we honestly only started with $100 grand, so we could buy like 1 or 2 projects at a time, like in Pine Hills, and
Right.
do that. You know, sell it, make 10, 15 racks, and then just rinse, wash, repeat.
right.
And so we did that for a while, and we did that up until like 2012 and maybe like 2011. And my family moved to Denver because that's where they wanted to be.
Are they still there now?
My mom and sister are, and
Nice.
my pops actually lives in Tarpon Springs. Him and I own a tap house together. So it's
Wow,
called-
okay.
yeah, it's named after him. It's called Johnny's Tap House.
Awesome.
It's like a sports bar down in Tarpon, which is like Tampa Bay, like little beach town.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So, but so when they went to Denver, they took essentially all the cash that we were working with them, and I kind of just pivoted what I was doing. I got linked up with a buddy of mine who was born and raised in Carver Shores. His
Wow.
name's Tim Green.
Is he
Super cool cat.
Black guy?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause,
Super.
yeah, I know the area.
Yeah,
So
yeah, at that time it was pretty rough,
Right.
And he was born and raised there. Him and I became friends just through like networking, and he had this good idea of like, yo, my hood and the rest of the hoods in Orlando are fucked right now.
Right.
I think that we can help people get out of foreclosure if we get like cash for keys and an attorney to like represent these people and essentially just like stack our chips against the bank
Right,
to
right.
help people. And
wow.
we came up with this like master plan, dude, where we got a hedge fund out of Miami
Okay.
to start putting up the cash for us to have these people like short sale us their home. and then we would like rent it back to them to own. And we would go to churches like in Pine Hills and churches in Ocoee, Carver Shores, etc., and be like, hey, if anybody in your congregation is in foreclosure right now, tell them to come see us. And like we would hold these like, I don't want to call them seminars, they were more like educational like meetups at these churches.
Okay.
And we would help people get out of foreclosure by kind of like pimping the system.
Yeah.
And so like we allowed people to not only get like cash for keys for their house, but also stay in their house and rent to own it back from these hedge funds.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. Like
That is awesome.
Yeah, we helped a bunch of people, but dude, of course the government can't stand Robinhood. So they like literally made everything we were doing against the law, like in like 2013, I think.
Wow.
So we had to like completely stop what we were doing and like pivot again.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. Justin, so I got to ask, because you and your friend Tim Green, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you both are just high school graduates, right? Just out of high school?
Nah, Tim's a little older than I am. Like,
Okay.
he's
Did he go to
probably-
college?
Nah, Tim.
Okay.
Tim didn't graduate. I don't know if he graduated high school. He's
okay.
just a hustler.
So yeah, and not only a hustler, but I mean this takes brains to do this kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's very impressive that, you know, you guys had this ambition, you and your friend, to like help people and do this. I mean, it takes a lot of like, you know, gumption, and that's awesome. I can understand why your story keeps, you know, getting better.
Yeah, trying, man. I mean, like, honestly, we were just helping people out because, like, you know, like, it tore my family apart what happened to us during the recession. And Tim, the same, it happened to his whole entire community. It seemed like his whole entire church was in foreclosure. And that's how he came up with this, like, great idea of how can we help people and also
make a little money. Right.
And so, like, dude, we just had, I guess we had nothing to lose. You know, at that point, we had nothing to lose, so we just went for it.
So you said, and then all of a sudden, you know, the government stepped in and made it like so you couldn't do this anymore.
Yeah, so like they made it so that you can't short sale your house and also stay in it. So like now, if you short sale your house, you have to go. Like you can't set foot in it again, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
It is
I mean,
crazy,
why
man.
wouldn't you want to help people?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
that's
the banks don't want to help anybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Well,
it's the system is so much bigger than me. You know, like I'm just like some little dude in my community trying to help, but all I know is they made it so we couldn't do that anymore. So we just pivoted again and like went a new direction, and somehow that direction led to a show.
So let's talk about that. It's just somehow, I mean, you know, you pivoted in another direction. Were you and Tim still doing stuff together?
No, well, kind of. So Tim and I worked with each other for maybe like another 3 or 4 months, and then he went another direction and I went another direction. I took on 2 mentors who I'd met through the industry who were doing something that I saw myself as like fully capable of learning. And they were fully capable and willing to teach me how to do it.
That's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I took these 2 cats on as mentors, and they taught me how to wholesale real estate to investors without like necessarily using your own cash.
Right.
And I'd essentially already been doing that between selling these short sales to these hedge funds.
Right,
but
cash for keys.
I never knew the term for it, I guess. So,
right.
like, when these dudes explained to me what they were doing and,
basically flipping,
killing
right?
it, well, really just flipping paper.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
like, you know, if let's say you have a house for sale, let's say I'm a wholesaler, and
right.
let's say JB is a private investor.
Okay.
You know, I would come to you and be like, bro, I see you have this house. You want cash for it. Let's go into contract. I'll give you $50,000 for it. And, you know, we'll close in 2 weeks. And you're like, all right, cool. So we go into contract. And then I call JB and I'm like, bro, I've got this house. It's worth $100,000.
Right.
It needs $10,000 in repairs, and I'll sell it to you for $60,000. You have to close in 2 weeks. And he's like, all right, sounds like a deal to me.
Okay.
So then I put you both at the closing table. We close with JB's cash. I take my $10,000. You get your $50,000, and we all walk away happy.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they taught me how to do that.
Those closings suck, though, don't they? I mean,
Closing, I love closings, man.
Do you really?
Yeah, because
It's like
it either
a
means I'm buying something or
and
I'm
you're
selling
making money.
something.
Yeah, but
You're in
okay,
the
but
middle.
still, the whole
He's
procedure,
brokering the deal.
especially if you get with a closer that doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
Oh
or
yeah, you
like-
got to work with the best, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes that's not an option.
Like I only work with Southeast Professional Title and
Okay.
Z Title Group in Orlando because
right.
they just know
Okay.
what's up.
Well, you got
and if
good
you're buying
relationships
cash, it's like 5 pages. If you have a mortgage, it's like 100. But
right, okay.
With cash, man, it's like 5 pages.
Gotcha.
But no, it's not that bad. But so they taught me how to do that.
Okay.
I did that for a long time, man. I did that for like 5 or 6 years as like one of the. Like, I eventually got as big as my mentors,
right?
Which I actually ended up leaving the company that we were all with to go start my own venture with a partner because we got all so big that we ended up butting heads because it would be like,
wow,
I know this person. You'd be like, no, that's my client. No, this is my client. And we eventually, like, you know, it's kind of like a big fish in a small pond. You start to know everybody.
Right. Yeah.
And you just can't have that many cooks in the kitchen at that point. So, like, I broke away. We're all still friends, don't get me wrong, but literally all 3 of us now own, like, our own brokerages.
Wow.
Because we all got
That's
too big to,
impressive.
like, be in the same pod.
You want to hear Justin? Sorry, we're speaking with Justin right now. And
Justin Stamper.
Yeah, and this is what's going to blow
Zombie
everybody's
house
mind.
flipping.
So, especially Mike, I think. So this is what blew my mind because I started the show saying, I was giving him advice, you know, because Justin is the ripe old age of 29.
Damn.
You know,
so how old is he getting a local legend?
Well, because he was born here. He's been here for 20 years.
Oh.
That's the only
He's been
part
doing
of it.
for a young age.
He's been here for 20 years. But that being said, that's what's so impressive to me as well is like,
You're our
and when
youngest
I say
local legend, I think.
Youngest
legend. Yeah, not locust legend. It's local legend. Locust legend. Oh, zombie half flipper over there turning our shit into something else. Next week we'll be like, well, here's our locust legend award. Our last guest changed the name. It's just how it goes.
So to get back to our guests, Justin. So you know you're doing all this, and what brought the attention of what you're doing now? How did that all come into play?
So Mary Shanklin for the Mary Shanklin for the Orlando Sentinel hit me up, honestly, bro, off of an ad I had on Craigslist for a house that I had for sale. And she was like, hey, I want to talk about the Orlando real estate market. Can we chat about it? And I was like, yeah, no problem. So we set up a phone call. She was like, oh, that's a really cool story that you have. That's cool what you're up to.
No, that's not really cool.
So she was like, oh, that's super cool. Do you have any renovations going on right now that we could come take a look at?
Right.
And I was like, well, Duke is renovating this super cool historic house over off Amelia.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, we'll be there tomorrow. And she was like, okay, well, we're going to pop by with like the Orlando Sentinel photographer.
All right.
And come check it out.
Press corps.
Cool.
Yeah. And, well, dude, she was just like, oh, I'm just going to pop by with our photographer and snap a couple pics and see what you guys got going on.
Cool.
And they ended up filming like a little digital short about us. And, dude, we ended up on the front page of the Sentinel.
That's
like,
great.
I remember Sunday night at when Saturday became Sunday at midnight, they released like the digital Sentinel, and I got like 15 text messages like, what is your dumbass doing on the front of the paper? That's crazy. Because it was like me and Duke with sledgehammers like over our shoulder, like
right on.
just being idiots. We had no idea that they were like going to publish a story.
Hey, look, we're going to take this one picture.
Yeah, we had no idea they were going to even publish the story, let alone make it front page of the Sunday paper.
Wow.
And then I woke up Sunday morning after like sleeping that night off with like 75 texts. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh, damn, this is crazy.
That's awesome.
And so we were on the front page of the Sentinel. Then like 2 weeks later, Mike Rowe's production company's crew hit us up. Mike Rowe does like Deadliest Catch, Dirtiest Jobs with Mike Rowe, etc. Right. His production company crew called my business partner, Ashley, and she thought it was a prank. She's like super Irish. And she's also like super pessimistic because she's super Irish.
All right.
And, it was a good save on that one.
I'm going to say any girl who speaks Gaelic does not trust anyone, especially 2,000 miles away from the motherland. So, like, I was literally like sitting next to her one day, and like she answered the phone, and she's like, "I told you to stop fucking calling me, and now fucking lose my number," and hung up. And I was like, "Ash, what was that about?" And she's like, "These pervs keep wanting to set up a video chat with me." And I was like, about what? And she's like, they said they want to make a show about us, but it's bullshit. I know they're just pervs or something like that, you know? And I was like, Ash, let me talk to these pervs. And it ended up being like a legit production company that
Wow.
had tracked us all down through like, I guess probably just Google searching like Orlando real estate investors or
Right.
Orlando house flipping. Who knows what they were Googling, but
Yeah.
eventually they found.
Well, probably that press, you recently got there. That's a huge, a huge little kind of
Well,
jump.
yeah,
Exactly.
That's how they
So-
found out originally.
Yeah, so they saw that, and they found Ashley's number on the internet.
Okay.
Because she's a real estate broker, and dude, next thing I know, like I Skyped with them privately a couple times. We vibed pretty well. Then they were like, "Could you flip 14 houses within a year on television?" And I was like, "Absolutely not." But I can round up 3 of my friends, and we all can.
Right.
And so I knew Duke, Keith, and Ash all on like separate relationships.
Okay.
And I knew that they would be awesome for the job. So Ash and I reached out to Duke and Keith, and then next thing we know, bro, we filmed like a little like pilot, and then like 3 months later they called us and we're like, "Welcome to Hollywood. We're gonna make a show."
Wow,
Yeah.
dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, man. I was like 24 at the time. I was like, "This is crazy."
Wow, that is crazy. And so,
Well, it's a great story because of where you kind of came from. You said, this is something that happens to
Came
people.
from here,
It happens
Orlando.
to families. It happens to families. And so why not try to make the best out of this situation even after it's transpired? And it's that whole restorative kind of mentality that I really admire and love. And I think that, that what you're doing now, with the track you're on, and I don't know how much you really went into the show or not, but basically the concept of how did the zombie name come?
oh, there you go. That's a good question.
Yeah, I was just curious about that. How did the zombie kind of get involved? Is it because of the house is like a total?
Well, let him answer the question.
Looks like it'll eat your brain. Okay, good. We're moving on. All right.
No,
So,
let him answer the question. I said.
We're moving on. He said. All right. Never mind.
No, so I mean, honestly, man, like the easiest, because I get that question a lot. Like people are like, "Are there zombies in your show?" Like they're like, "What kind of show is this that has this name?" And the easiest response I have, man, is like season 1, episode 1 was a suicide house that the dude killed himself in the bathroom, and there was like
Whoa.
legit still blood in the bathtub. So
wow.
like, I really can't like put it
man.
better than that, man. Like
That's
we
gross,
renovate
man.
really gross houses.
Okay.
And we make them pretty again. So I
Yeah,
mean, that's why
but
they're
that-
called zombies.
Even though being in there, being inside of the kind of the cadaver of a house that may have contained, just ludicrous activities, beyond mention, on election day, because it's not time to make fear no more. All right, sorry.
What the hell?
That was a little political jam. No more fear. All right.
Okay.
But what I think is interesting though is that people, you kind of look at that like it's something lost. And I love that what you do turns it into, no, it's this.
Yeah.
It's not lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, man. I mean, there can be blood everywhere, but you just got to tear down that drywall, make sure there's no more mold, and just move on, man.
Yeah. And obviously not advertise that shit.
Yeah.
Right?
On the bright side,
be
you
like,
legally don't have to
lay
disclose
your
if
baby
anybody
down
died
to
in the
rest.
house.
Yeah. Oh, you don't?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but still, I love the effect of taking something that's utterly putrid in someone's mind and
Right.
turning it into something beautiful.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I love
it's
that.
cool,
So
man.
keep that spirit alive because that right there is like very valuable as you know.
Yeah. So I got a question for you, Justin.
Yeah.
And it's been great having you on here and learning this. It's nice to have you on. So, as much as you've already done, I mean, before you're even 30, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What are your plans for the future? Have you even thought about it? I mean, because I know when I was in my 20s, I didn't think about any of that shit. Well, I mean, but you always want to kind of keep doing what you're doing.
Sustain it, kind of plans to
So let him answer
Change
the
it
question I asked. Thanks.
I don't know, man. I feel like I torture myself with questions like that every day, That's
Right.
like the things you think about when you're going to bed and you start having 47 million conversations in your own brain.
Gotcha. I
Or when
gotcha.
you take a shower, you spend 98% of it just arguing, fake arguments in your head, and 2% washing your balls. So,
You kind of lost me on that one.
I mean, you
All
have
right,
showers
so
like that.
apparently you're not happy. So,
No,
I'm
that's
just
not
kidding.
the answer.
I was just kidding.
I feel like there's so many different directions that I want to go, but
Okay.
honestly, man, the two really big things that weigh on me heavily that I would like to pivot into, like when it's time to make the next pivot,
right,
is I would somehow like to figure out getting into food waste. So, like, ever since I opened a restaurant with my pops, to see the amount of food waste that happens,
it is
crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's obscene.
You know, in Japan, there's certain laws that if you throw away like food, you get fined, or maybe it's not Japan, it's Korea.
Yeah. So actually, Korea super inspired me because they have a couple like private sector companies that take specific like areas of food waste and add nutrients and vitamins to it and turn it into like livestock feed and fertilizer.
Right.
And we haven't had anybody in America like necessarily enter the private sector, at least on a big enough scale that we need it to be to really like revolutionize the industry.
You're right.
So this year, my restaurant, after pushing super hard and brainwashing my staff into like straws are bad, and so is food waste and styrofoam.
Right.
We finally banned straws.
Okay.
And now if also you want a straw, it's like made out of tapioca.
Okay.
Instead of plastic.
Right.
Also, we're like getting away from all styrofoam. But I'd like to...
Getting away? You haven't done it already? I mean, styrofoam is way worse than straws.
Well, okay, so the food show where you purchase everything from was actually last week.
Okay.
And so we just bought all new like to-go stuff.
Gotcha.
But we had like the year before bought like a year supply of what we needed. But besides the point,
and
like,
that's in a different state as well, right? The restaurant that you have is in
no, it's in Tampa
Denver?
Bay.
Oh, okay.
It's in Tarpon Springs.
Okay, gotcha.
But I had like reached out to local farmers asking if they wanted our food waste,
right?
And they had declined just based on the fact that it's not like regulated. It could just be like food that we took out of a trash bag in our kitchen,
right?
And they don't want to get anybody sick. So I would like to somehow figure out how to get into like the private sector of like changing the food industry's food waste.
Yeah,
because I'm just like super adamant about that.
That's awesome.
And there's a reason why I was asking this because I can tell. I mean, I've been thoroughly impressed with where you've come from and what you've done, and that's why I was wondering how where you're going to progress to, and you're still like always thinking about the community and how you can help the community more. And that's really what I was trying to get at. And that's why, I mean, I think you're awesome, bro. And I really appreciate like everything that you've done to like, try to help people. And there's no wonder that, you are, where you're at. So
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you being here and taking the time to, be with us.
Yeah,
and
dude.
talk about
for
this.
sure.
That was a great. Yeah, that was a great session.
Once again, JB,
I mean, I learned a lot.
And I want you, in your own words, because you say it so well, and when you're serious, and I like you to be serious about this. Why do we do this show again, JB?
Right. Okay. So the way I say it is typically to venerate talented people,
right.
Shine a little light on what they're doing, help amplify their voice, and interact with our community. For basically the fact that it's an American principle.
Okay.
And
that's why I do this.
Open
And he's been doing this now for 9 years. And I've been impressed. He had me on as a local legend. And since then, and this is why I do it, is to like really shine light on my community. And there's not, I want to like, Mike, has been a guest.
Mike Rizzo is in studio.
Yeah, Mike is Rizzo in studio.
He's chilling out over there. We don't have a mic.
Yeah.
Hold on there.
And actually,
Mike doesn't have a mic.
Yeah.
We can share
actually,
one.
you can, he can grab you can use your mic, JB. So Mike, what's up, buddy? Hey, man. So Mike, longtime friend, and this guy has done a lot for this community as well, and that's why I love Mike so much. And I mean, he went to a Perfect Circle with me last Tuesday.
That was good. Thank you.
That was great. And then we're going to Billy Gibbons in like 10 minutes too.
How?
Right. So and anyway,
Billy Gibbons.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, well, I don't know. You think he'll play any ZZ Top songs? I don't want him to play.
No, he is going to play some ZZ Top
Couple
songs.
songs,
Are you
maybe?
kidding? Well, yeah, dude. Like, can you anything off of Ritual? No, not. Anyways,
The one with the hot blonde on the cover.
Yeah, right.
That one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So wait, I don't mean to interrupt, but you know what, Justin? Pleasure meeting you, man.
Yeah, likewise.
And so I just have questions for.
Okay, yeah, please,
because
Mike.
I kind of came in at the end,
Mike, and once again, Mike, that's why you're here, and that's why I admire you, because he's very much like we are. I mean, he's very smart, very talented, and Mike, I love you, bro. You know this, and so I'm just go ahead, Mike.
No, I just. My big question is where's the production of the show? Are you in Orlando right now? And if you are, I'm fucking excited about that. And that's cool. And if you found that kind of success,
well, tell him what you're doing. Tell him what you're the manager, and
so many parallels, but our paths are completely different. But there's definitely some cool parallels. I mean, one, I'm a Winter Park guy, so Orlando,
right?
The CIA, I didn't go to that, but I work very closely with a chef who went to.
Right. I manage K Restaurant Wine Bar.
That's right.
So we got this hospitality food thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to.
I work at Steak and Ale.
Fonzo is.
Kevin Fonzo.
Kevin Fonzo.
Yeah,
man.
good
super
friend
cool.
of mine.
He's
I
awesome.
worked with him for 7 years.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I was just at this private dinner he threw at his facility facility in College Park.
Yeah,
Awesome,
yeah.
dude.
That's
Love
amazing.
That building's so cool.
A little gem.
Yes.
A little gem, absolutely.
So I've been yeah. So that's why. Anyways, that's why we're this all. Go on, Mike.
And so many others that I can't even recall, but really I'm curious about the show and where's it being produced and all that. I don't know anything about the show. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
So we only film the show here in Orlando.
I love it. That's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah. So we're on season 3.
Good job.
We're on season 3, and every single episode's in Orlando.
Every single episode here in Orlando.
So our production company, they're from L.A. We're made by a huge production company. They're called Pilgrim Productions. They're owned by Lionsgate. But every single house we renovate is if you drew a 5-mile circle around downtown Orlando, that's every single house. The majority of the houses we renovate are Delaney Park, Winter Park. If it ends with a park or a garden, we're there.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So, Mike, tell him what are you doing now? Well, tell everybody what you're doing right now. Actually, not just him, but what have you been doing for? Just talk a little bit.
Well,
about you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, another parallel is that the chef I work with is a television chef. So production companies, seasons, all these things are. It's really cool and close. And for the last several years, I've been managing the brand and business behind Chef Emily Ellen, who's known as the Retro Rad Chef from the Food Network, and that's been quite a journey.
Right,
and,
it has, because
well, we had our personal relationship, and then of course, and then we realized that was we needed to tie that up in a different way, and.
But you still have this professional relationship, and that's that's where your skill comes into play as well.
Yes.
And so seriously,
well, Emily's a pretty amazing woman.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
There's no doubt about it, and very talented. She's she's an amazing chef. She's no doubt,
chef, dude.
And she's got such a she's very charismatic. Much like all of us are, really.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's. Did you have another question for Justin?
Well, let's see.
If you didn't, that's fine.
I probably do, but oh,
fucking JB's over here looking for. Go on,
and Justin. I'm thinking in that situation, do you have a staff of people looking for properties for you, or
Ashley and I own a real estate brokerage in Ivanhoe. So it's called Blueprint Real Estate Group. We're right there, Ivanhoe Row.
Okay,
that's the neighborhood that I live in. So
no doubt,
we could probably talk for hours about.
Yeah,
it.
he's actually on the neighborhood board there.
Yeah, no doubt. So
was.
for
the neighborhood association.
Cool, man. Yeah, so we've donated to it and done the wine walks and whatnot.
Ivanhoe Village.
Yeah, Ivanhoe Village. So
Jingle Eve.
Jingle Eve. I don't know if you remember, but I don't know if you guys know what a Dodge Little Red Express truck is. They're a 70s Dodge hot rod, has two stacks out the back.
Yeah.
So for the last couple Jingle Eves, I've parked mine on the sidewalk out front of A&T Antiques.
Nice.
And served barbecue out of the back of it that I cook.
Really?
For everybody on the wine walk.
Holy shit.
Are you going to be there this year?
No, so we actually we moved our brokerage. We used to be a storefront in A&T. Right across from Lucky Lure, and now we're in the Credo Conduit tech startup space where all the tiny houses are.
Credo?
Yeah.
So do you know Ben Hoyer?
No.
He started the whole credo. Ben Hoyer.
I probably met him because I think we had to meet with them all when we were signing our lease.
Right on.
I'm
Anyways.
just terrible with names.
No worries. Go on. No,
but yeah, so we're there now. So we don't have the prime location to do that again.
Not in that neighborhood, but that is a cool building. I love that building. A little curve and those lights. I just got to talk about the lights because it's been a while. When that building was first built, it's got little round lights that go around the perimeter. If you've never noticed them, you will now. Anyway, there's a switch somewhere in that building that you can get those. You can get those things to just go around and be animated.
Nice.
But nobody's turned it on for years. But
I'm going to go find it. Yeah.
Look for that switch.
Find it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's get that going again because that makes that building even cooler.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, so we're not doing Jingle Eve this year. But the last couple Jingle Eves, dude, I had my hot rod sitting on the sidewalk serving barbecue out of the back.
What about your restaurant? I feel like I totally dropped the miss that you had a restaurant. Talk just real quick.
Well, that's in Tampa. Tarpon Springs.
Yeah, it's in Tarpon Springs.
What's the name of that place?
It's called Johnny's Tap House. It's named after my pops. My pops owns.
Yeah, he covered this. You just weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's all good, man.
You may have been making a drink.
No, I like that.
In a nutshell,
I missed it.
In a nutshell, man, imagine if the ale house DIY'd everything and locally sourced as much ingredients.
Wow, okay.
And actually cared. And
that's a great commercial.
So we have 28 beer taps and 24 of them are within 20 miles of our restaurant.
Sweet.
Cigar City.
Yeah, of course, man. So Cigar City sends us special kegs all the time.
Nice.
The only things frozen we have are tater tots and French fries, and that's only because we can't make them as good as the ones that we have.
Right.
But everything else, man, we buy a lot of produce from the Greek farmers. Tarpon Springs is super Greek.
Right.
So a lot of the farmers we buy our produce from. We try to locally source our meat. So I guess at the end of it's if a sports bar DIY'd
farm to table.
Yeah. That's what we go for, man.
Yeah, dude, that's the way.
That's
roots.
wonderful.
It's once again
Johnny's what?
Johnny's Tap House.
There you go.
Once again, you're reaching out to your community and being involved with the community.
Oh, for sure, man. Where we opened our restaurant, it used to be a outlaw biker heroin pool hall.
Oh,
that there's been a few
they used
stabbings
to hang out there back in the day.
And we took it over as an actual foreclosure as well, going back to the foreclosure.
Right.
We took it over, and that part of downtown Tarpon, people didn't go to unless they had an agenda.
Okay.
And now Saint Somewhere Brewing, I'm sure you guys have heard of Bob from Saint Somewhere. He's one of the world's most renowned collaborative brewers.
Yeah, totally.
There's 4 beer breweries now within a stone's throw of our restaurant, and now it's lively, and now we host farmers markets and bands, and it's super
awesome.
cool, man, to change the community. The cops love us. They say thanks all the time. They're this part of the woods used to suck.
That's great.
That's great.
I don't know, man. Just fighting the good fight, bro. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You're a shitty punk
I love
rock
how well-rounded you are too, though. With it.
Well, it's because we just grew up shitty punk rock kids, and now we just want to make a difference for good, right? It was either that or get face tattoos like the rest of my friends. So
that's what I was gonna. I love. That's when I walked in. You guys were talking about tattoos,
right? Okay.
And you said one of the things we had in common was none of us had tattoos.
But he's getting a back piece.
I know, and that kind of threw a wrench into it. But I was wondering, maybe.
Good luck with that.
I waited until 30 though, dude.
Yeah,
I waited until I made my mark, and nobody could turn me away at the door and be like, "Oh, you have visible tattoos. What are you? Who are you?" Yeah. Nowadays, if you turn me away at the door because I have tattoos, I don't want to do business with you in the first place.
That's perfect.
There you go.
That's
Come on, I waited 30 years. For
perfect
this.
timing. Right. But so why didn't you get any tattoos, Jerry?
Because I've been in so much pain in my life, with the physical pain, epic kind of pain,
Gotcha.
should have been killed kind of pain,
right?
Right. And so I would never. Whatever I decided I'd get, I'd end up, not liking.
I think I get what you said already. I mean, that was.
And then also the pain. I don't want to ever.
Indecisive, and I don't like pain.
I don't want to inflict. Yeah, I don't want to inflict pain on myself ever. It's too many other things that can do that and leave marks on my body.
Yeah, man.
That's profound, really.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
in a little glass box over here. All right, guys.
I mean, I pierced my ear once.
Oh wow! Let's not hear that story.
And
it hurt.
It hurt so bad. I didn't pierce the other one.
No, come on.
No, I'm just kidding.
How long did that last for you? Because I had
what, the pierced ear?
Yeah, I did it too.
Oh man, I've got an earring in right now.
Oh, good.
It's the lightning bolt.
No, yeah, no,
Just kidding.
No, mine lasted. I never got past those starter studs.
Yeah.
Never even got a real earring.
Dude, I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And it's what's funny is he was going to do both, and he pierced his right ear. Back in the day, your right one meant you were gay. Remember, you had to have your left ear. Do you remember that? Like that was that was the way to that was like high school kind of shit.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
So hey, this has been a great show. I think it's good time to kind of wrap it up. I know you're catching a red eye and going to be in New York tomorrow, right?
Yeah, up in New York City for this like Gavin Bond photography event.
Nice.
They're doing. It should be cool, man. He takes super dope photography, and
wow.
My buddy Ted Henderson, he's a local musician here.
Okay.
I actually, me and a friend of mine were able to get him the music gig to play this Gavin Bond event, and like Madonna is on the guest list.
Wow.
So Ted just released an album this week, and
cool.
We are trying to let the world hear it. So we're flying up to New York City. We'll be there tomorrow morning. The event's tomorrow night, and
nice.
Hopefully we'll have some people who dig good music check out Ted Henderson and see what him and I have been up to the last year or two producing this album.
Well, man, that is awesome, because another thing that JB does, he does a circadian cast, which he focuses on music. I mean, that's why we do this show as well, is like because we're just trying to shine light on cool shit. So that's awesome, man.
Dude, we gotta get Ted up in here then, man. You guys would love him. He's unbelievably.
Yeah. Yes.
Send us music files. Do you want to try? Is your music online?
Yeah, it's on SoundCloud.
Okay, you want me to try to find it? You want to?
Sure.
Well,
we'll go cut away. Oh, we'll do that.
Well,
okay,
so because me and Mike, we got to take. Well, that's fine. But me and Mark are gonna have to head out of here because we're gonna go see Billy Gibbons tonight at House of Blues. But Justin, man, I can't thank you enough for being here. I mean,
dude, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much. JB, what you got going on over there?
I got a little hip abduction queued up here.
All right, let's go into some hip abduction. So, Mike, thanks again for being here
tonight.
Thank
you guys for having me out again.
Yeah, buddy. Yes. All right. So, we got Justin. What, Justin? Why do I for some reason
Stamper, Justin Stamper. It's the JB Rev Show. Shut up over there. All right, we'll see you. All right, you guys are leaving. We'll see you the next time. Maybe hang out with me and do the news, or if you got to go, you got to go. But we do the news up next.
Hey, this has been awesome.
Abduction.
Thank you, Mike.
The JB Rev Show. Original content for you on an election day 2018.
Go vote. Oh, it's too late.
It's too late.
Hope you voted.
California.
Fill the soul with the ends of the world, love, and that's where we'll go. Among the ways you become alive again, not afraid of now, cause this is the end. Into the night we roll, while the weekdays sleep. What's the point of this life if you don't even breathe? Before the wild is gone, let's stand and fight. As the youth we become one, they can't beat us. Set free, embrace the warmth of the heart and the sound of the sea. See the world unknown, and soon it'll show when to love, when to leave, and when to let go. Come alive, my friend, let's grab a hand. That's the part of this life that most don't understand. Among the ways you become alive again, not afraid of now, cause this is the end. Before I lose our minds, my friend, we call
You're listening to the JB Rev Show.
All right, there we go. The JB Rev Show. I thought since we're on that original music kind of a vibe, we should do a little bit of original music from our friend Justin Stamper right here in the studio. His friend Ted makes music. So give us a little bit of intro to what we're going to listen to, and we'll just cut our mics down. He does a couple of covers on this one, but yeah, let's talk about this music a little bit.
Yeah, man. So Ted and I met in middle school. We really hit it off. We just, man, we were in middle school, bro. We were just a bunch of shitty kids. And we just grew up to become lifelong best friends. And he, since the day I met him, man, has just been like the best musician my age that I've ever met. The kind of person who can hear a song and play it right back by ear.
Yeah.
It's really insane
Just amazing
stuff,
pickup.
Yeah. Insane, like, to the point where you almost wonder, like, is there something wrong with you?
Well, I see a lot of cool covers that you sent me over to a site. John Mayer, Otis Redding, Chris Stapleton, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, and I could actually...
D'Angelo. He's got some big, chops in there. Those are pretty big chops.
Yeah, and I can actually send you some of our, like, unmastered stuff.
Well, yeah, I'd love to hear original stuff, too.
Yeah, you just have to give me a second to, like...
Here, hold on. Do you want me to... Here, let's sample a track of this. We'll just sample it. We'll stay online with it. This is him.
When I'm in need, yeah, she's a kind of friend indeed. Oh, she a gold digger, way over town. The days on me. She still me mad when I'm in need. She still me mad when I'm in need. I got need. I got need. I got need. I got need. Yeah, she's still me. Cutie the bar met her at a beauty salon with the baby Louis Vuitton on her arm. She's like, I can tell you rock, I can tell by your charm. For girls, you got a flock, I can tell by your charm and your arm. But I'm looking for the one, now you seen her. Psychic tell me she don't have an ass like Sabrina. Train, I love is for kids. And I gotta take all they badass to showbiz. Okay, get your kids, then they got their friends. Put up in the bins, they all got up in. Women with the den, I had to pay. If you're freaking with this girl, then you better get paid, you know what? Take too much to touch her. From what I heard, she got a baby but bust her. Best friend said she used to freak with us. I don't care what none of y'all say, I still love her. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no bro. Yeah, I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no bro. Get down, go ahead, get down. Get down, go ahead, get down. Get down, go ahead, get down. Get down, go ahead. 18 years, she got one of your kids, got you for 18 years. With somebody paying child support for one of his kids. Baby mama car crib is bigger than his. You would see him on TV any given Sunday. When the Super Bowl and drive up in the under. She was supposed to buy a shorty Tyco with your money. Went to the doctor, got lipo with your money. Walking around looking like Michael with your money. Should I got that and should I go for your money? If you ain't no fun, I know we want prenup. We want prenup, yeah. It's something that you need to have. When she leaves your ass, you're gonna leave her ass. 18 years, and on her 18th birthday, found out I wasn't here. I didn't say she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no bro. I didn't say she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no bro. Get down, go ahead, get down. Get down, go ahead, get down. Get down, go ahead, get down. Get down, go ahead. I'm saying you a gold digger, you got needs. You don't wanna do the smoke, but it can't buy weed. Go out to eat, it can't pay, you can't leave. Get dishes in the back, you gotta roll up your sleeves. You know what? While you're washing. He can make it to a pants out of that dozen. He get down a fishing, baby. Look at his eyes. This week he mops the floor and next week is the fries. Stay by his side. I know that dude's ballin', and yeah, that's nice. They could keep calling and trying, but you stay right, girl. And when you get on and leave your ass for a white girl, get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead. Now I ain't saying you a gold digger, but you ain't messing with no broke boy. I'm saying you a gold digger, and you ain't messing with no broke boy. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, go.
WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show.
And now, breaking news badly.
Wow. Okay, there you go. There we have it. Some breaking news badly. But before that, tell us a little bit about that artist again there. I like this that cover. And that was all him?
Yeah.
Doing it?
Yeah, man. So that's literally recorded in his studio apartment off of Park Avenue in like Hannibal Square. Him and I.
Musicbyteddy.com.
Yeah, man.
That's where that came from.
Him and I figured out how to produce music just using our laptops, a keyboard, and a couple microphones and other things.
It's
and
great.
Just started like plugging away, and we produced this entire album we're about to release this week, and it's been really cool, man. So I just sent you an it's not mastered yet, but it's like the rough draft of the last song we finished.
Okay.
And honestly, I've only heard it once, so I hope it's good.
Oh, all right. So I might not should air it.
No, definitely
cautious.
air it, dude.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
All
Why not?
Okay.
Right?
Well, you said it's not mastered, but
It's
but
not-
it's going to sound good.
Yeah, I hope
It's not going to be
so.
like, oh, that's my social security number,
Dude, at the end of the day, if it doesn't sound good, just remember it's two dudes who didn't necessarily know how to do this, rocking off of like two MacBooks and a keyboard. So we gave it our best shot,
Fucking
right?
Daft
You know?
Punk. Yeah. All
Just
right.
give it your best shot.
There you go.
But yeah, man, it's Ted. And Ted's awesome.
Musicbyteddy.com. There you go. Check that stuff out. All right. So what we do on Breaking News Badly, we read a couple of headlines here. So let me grab a couple of them here. Unborn baby kicks a hole in mother's womb, nearly killing them both. This is from 98rock, iHeart.com. So I presume it's real. October 12th, kicks a hole in her belly.
That's
It says,
crazy.
the article goes on
New
to be a
Kung
little
Fu
more
master.
sensationalized there. Yeah, but that would be just freaky almost. It was like the Alien movies.
Yeah, like I
Where
was
he's kicking
hoping
your-
they were going to say like Halloween Fools at the end of that,
Right.
but I guess that's real. That's nuts.
I don't know. It's still on a website. Whatever. Yeah, there's the New York Times. FDA approves powerful new opioid despite warning of likely abuse. What's this called? Dysuvia? Disuva?
Should be called Floridia.
Yeah. Oh, snap. Yeah. Well, it's like this little one-dose thing. I guess they're saying they need it for, triage in the field. The pain is just so horrendous. So I don't know what's more powerful than morphine or what. I
don't know, man.
I don't know. I didn't know there was something. Okay.
Heroin?
I guess.
I don't know. Haven't tried either.
I don't know.
Looking forward to both.
Eye-opening evidence: baking soda and coconut oil kill skin cancer. You believe in that? Realpharmacy.com. Pharmacy
I
is
don't know.
spelled with an F. On this website.
Of course it is,
Yeah.
dude. Of course
Yeah,
it's
it's
farm.
yeah.
OC.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Did you know
It's-
yoga cures all cancer?
Oh, no, I did not.
Yeah, me either.
Oh,
But
I was hoping that was real.
I don't know. I do yoga and I don't have cancer yet.
Oh,
so
well, there you go.
one for one.
Yeah, you're concluding. I'm going to wrap this study up and just make this a proclamation.
It's on realyogaseed.com.
Here's something, ironically, and you mentioned it before, but here's a good one. And I thought, wow, this is foodprint.org, 15 ways to reduce food waste.
Okay. What are the ways?
What the U.S. spends on growing, processing, transporting, and disposing food that never gets eaten. Number 1 is plan ahead. Number 2 is make a list. I guess
number 1 is plan ahead, and 2 is make a list.
Yep.
These
then
are
number 3 is be realistic. Number 4 is shop small. I guess this is for the consumer.
Yeah, this is like barely how to actually
prioritize
food waste.
Stock the essentials. Don't over prepare. Take home leftovers. Use up leftovers.
Oh my God.
You have to remind them to eat the leftovers. Anyway, keep food fresh. Don't toss it before it spoils. Oh, preserve it. All right. Anyway, moving on. There you go. I'm sure you have some great ideas yourself. So we'll see that. RollingStone.com.
I mean, I feel like the food waste that the problem I want to address is like the actual food
Not
waste
in
on
the
the
home.
plate, you know?
Yeah. Well, you mean not in the home so much, but more like in the broad restaurant, the scale of
for
food
sure,
that's
man.
thrown out every single night just for the stupid policy of we're not going to give it away, we're charging for it. So.
Yeah, that and like a lot of people don't want to take to go.
Right.
And there's also like, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. There's just so
right
much
from
food
the
waste.
table.
We went
the mentality maybe is what it is.
So our film crew had lunch today at Vanberry's. Okay. And Vanberry's serves the biggest bowls of like salad, and they also do like a couple other bowls with like rice and beans and meat and whatnot. It's like an uneatable portion. It's huge.
Yeah.
And we must have had 5 pounds of food waste on our table today, and like I took a to-go box for somebody else's food because I was like, I don't want this to go to waste.
Man,
but I also can't take 7 other people's
you're
salads.
like, well,
I don't want that. That's,
yeah,
especially when they're all different salads. That would be an odd mix.
Yeah, well, plus 2, yeah.
And it's got to sit in my hot car at a construction site for 5 hours until I can throw it in the fridge. But that shouldn't necessarily be something that the consumer should have to take upon. Like the restaurant should have like a moral obligation to like figure out what to do with the waste.
A good point. And it's almost like too, we're talking 2 or 3 different tracks here because it's like food waste, number 1, and then unused food that they just get rid of.
Yeah.
That they've had prepared food that nobody ordered.
Yeah.
And then what is the other thing? I guess mistakes or, people not wanting to take it home. I guess that falls into the waste category. Anyway.
Totally.
But yeah, that's interesting when you look at it. There's tons of ways. And I know, too, I've seen even a girl with that created an app to kind of alert soup kitchens of when restaurants had food available and then make it available for people through
For
that.
sure.
Yeah.
But then you also get into like the weird standpoint of like supermarkets refusing to do that because they're afraid to have liability for like giving people food waste that they got sick from.
Right.
But what everybody like I feel like is like failing to look at is there's like an actual law that says if you donate food, you're no longer held liability if anybody got sick from it. So like Publix theoretically could just donate everything, but they don't, man. Like I remember one time I was in Publix about 3 weeks ago.
That's crazy.
And I knocked a pepper on the ground on accident, and I went to pick it up, and the stock boy was like, "Oh, don't worry about picking it up." And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "Oh, we're throwing all that away tonight."
Wow.
So it doesn't matter. And I was like, "That's ridiculous. There's like 150 peppers here. Like, why would you not donate this somewhere? These peppers are fine."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. The system's just like crooked.
Yeah,
dude.
it is crazy. It's like you almost want to throw it away, but then still take credit for it. And it's kind of like this mentality even, too, where all these ginned up numbers out there about followers and all this. Oh, I got millions of followers. It's like, well, is that really what's important?
Yeah. I'm worried about the millions of peppers.
Influencing them? Are you? Is that making a difference? Anyway, but there you go. That's so there you go. We'll kind of wrap that up with some breaking news badly there. And wait, you've got a website now. I can't believe we got through this whole damn interview because the Rev is very much all over the place.
He's shooting from the
and
hip.
I like that. Yeah, he's constantly moving. But JustinStamper.com is a website. People can go there. It's at Flip Orlando on the Instagram, it looks like.
Yep.
And at Justin Stamper. And you're on the Twitter over there? At
Yeah,
Justin Stamper
I
on the
barely
tweets?
use Twitter.
Yeah.
Instagram's the best place if you want to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Or on my website, there's like a place you can submit an email.
Yeah,
I
that's
try
a
to
good-
get back to everybody.
Yeah.
And I had to delete
links.
Facebook though, man. Facebook.
What do you
was
mean?
just like- I don't know, man.
Like your personal thing?
Yeah, just all of it, dude. It just
Yeah.
became like an echo chamber for nonsense to me.
Right.
Hey, by the way, I just sent you an email of I asked Ted. I said, "What song? You get to pick one song from the new album.
Very good.
What do you want played?"
Okay.
So I just sent you what he wants played.
Oh, okay, wonderful. All right, so let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Facebook got weird. I didn't want to look at pictures of babies anymore or political opinions.
Yeah, it is a lot.
They're both just.
Wait, which one? You
It's
sent me.
It's called Little to Lose.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know. Do you still have Facebook?
Yeah, I mean, I use it, but it's under this moniker of my radio, JB Webb.
Okay.
My real one, I don't really even use at all.
Yeah, dude.
Ever. It's like I just am whatever.
I don't see pictures of anybody's babies.
Yeah, well,
or political opinions.
Yeah, I think it's where I don't feel comfortable, or all of the hatred, the hatred and the aggression, and you're trying to change somebody's mind on your little soapbox. Okay, all right, there you go. Look at that, I got it. All right, there you go. All right, so let's do this. Hold on, we do a little sponsor crawl, so we'll make sure we'll go into this song. It's Little to Lose.
Yep.
What is the band?
Little to Lose. By Ted Henderson.
Ted Henderson. All right.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Then hang on. Let me go over to here. Close us out with our typical little thing we do on this show. Pocashottest.com. POCASHOTTEST.com. Finest hot sauce out there. ShannonHoltArt.com. Infotainment.com. Domestic radio upgrades. Touchscreen factory. Who else is out there? Modern Music Movement. Kush Ultra Lounge, Dank Orlando City Smoke Shop, BadassSandwiches.com. What, Ear Theater? Are they doing it? I don't know. Anyway, we encourage you to love and respect each other each and every week. WJBWNetworks.com. That's our primary site. Go there, do what we do. I guess we'll be back next week. I don't know if I'm going to continue this blank check of the Reverend. We'll have something a little more structured, perhaps. But that was awesome.
Hey,
session with you.
Me,
Thank you, Justin.
I'll gladly come back.
Yeah, that was remarkable, man.
If the Reverend ever can't make it, I'll come be your co-host.
Yeah, let's hook that up. Well, you got to give me your number. All right, we'll hook that all up. All right, so we're going to run into a track. Hang on. Let's go here. All right, thank you for that. Run into this track. Where do I have it? Right here. It is Little to Lose. Tim Henderson.
Ted Henderson.
Ted.
Yeah,
wow.
right here, Orlando, born and raised. And he's releasing his first album, man. It's
Very
really cool.
Well,
and
that's great. We get to air the track here.
Dude, yeah, this is like the first airing of it. You guys are the first people to
rock
hear
and
this.
roll. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's take a listen. We'll see you next week.
And throw your arms around me. Thank God I got someone like you. I'm living in a box in the edge of a mountain. Your lasso in a row right around my shoe. A time's moving like a body overhead in the clouds, baby. We're young but getting old enough to sing the blues. Still got a little to lose. Still got a little to lose. Like a pit without your love, baby. She things I thought that I know. You're something and it's got to believe my affection. I'm clinging to a boy in the deepest love. At times I feel like a bitch getting up a collection. Very young but getting on nothing's in the birds. Still got a little to lose. 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 Still got a little to lose.
If people want to continue to watch on so that it's like foreign.
WJBW Orlando, the very first quasi-radio web show.